Oh man, I just had a dream that I lost my body parts because my dad made a deal with the devil. Oh, okay, I still got my left hand. Ah, oh, son of a bitch. Hey everybody, this is Axel Blaze here with the first video in a new series, Stop Sleeping on Blank. Decided to make this video series to kind of touch on different anime, manga, visual novels, stuff like that, that really don't get the attention that they deserve. Now keep in mind there are a lot of anime and manga that come out every week, every month, every season. So a lot of it can easily just get lost in the midst of everything, especially when things, for example, don't show up on Crunchyroll or Funimation, which are usually like the two places that everybody goes to, especially for the manga. Sorry, not manga, anime. And like with Shonen Jump, you know, you get your Jump manga, but some of the other ones kind of get lost in translation. So with that in mind, this series is meant to kind of discuss, like I said, the series that I think that people should kind of pay attention to, the gems in the rough that are getting lost in translation. And I decided that for a Stop Sleeping On series, it would be kind of funny to be wearing sleepwear, including this awesome sleeping cap that my girlfriend Pastel You made. So special thanks to her for making this hat for me to kind of switch it up from the usual beanie that I wear. But yeah, so fun note before we begin, what you're seeing right now, the bed that you're seeing, is actually the opposite of the bookshelves that you normally see in my video. Everything that you've been seeing up till now has all been occurring in the bedroom. So it's kind of fun to kind of see the opposite for a change, especially with all of the plushies that you see behind me that were all won for the most part, other than this little rainbow axolotl by me through round one here in Wisconsin. So with that in mind, I wanted to start this video, Stop Sleeping on Dororo. So first and foremost, what is Dororo? Dororo, the current anime, is based on the 1969 series by Osamu Tezuka, who was the creator of Astro Boy. So like this manga like took place, thinking it now over 50 years ago. So it's really crazy to see this like really classic series all of a sudden have a modern day take. And I will say that there was originally a black and white anime that actually came out for Dororo 2, like back in I want to say it was either the late 60s or early 70s of the Dororo manga. Now, I'm not going to go over the stylistic changes in this series. For that, my best recommendation would actually be checking out Mother's Basement's video on the stylistic changes of Dororo. And I'll include my little thumbnail over here for it, and I'll include a link in the description down below in the video. But I highly suggest it, as well as just highly suggesting Mother's Basement's channel in general. Absolutely love the work that he does on his videos. Very well thought out, absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't watched any of his videos or subscribed, definitely do so, and check out his video specifically on Dororo to talk about the stylistic changes. But in terms of a story description and whatnot, Dororo takes place in like the Sengoku era of Japan, and it follows Hyakimaru, who is a boy who was essentially born without skin, eyes, limbs, sight, like smell, taste, all these different things. And the reason for it is because his father made a deal with a bunch of demons in order to essentially become the lord of his land and bring prosperity to it. So the demons decided, all right, well, the way that you're going to pay for it is by giving us the body parts and functions of your firstborn child. So, yeah, very graphic birth. And then the father decides that he's going to have the baby killed, just to essentially hide the sins that he's committed. But the handmaid that was responsible for getting rid of the boy sends him down a river instead before being mercilessly killed by a demon. Hyakimaru is then adopted by a prosthetics maker who goes, and the prosthetics maker himself is someone that goes around to war sites because like we're in a warring state right now, and he puts prosthetic limbs, fake eyes, stuff like that on bodies to essentially kind of give them peace even in death. And he eventually outfits, because he finds Hyakimaru, and he eventually outfits his body with different puppet parts and whatnot to make him look human. But he also gives him blades out of his arms so he can kind of fight. Thus the little skit that we had at the beginning of the video. He grows up and he starts traveling, essentially. And his sole purpose becomes finding the demons that took his body parts and functions as a kid and kill them. And every time that he does so, he is able to regain certain limbs, body parts, body functions, etc. Which is actually what we see in the very first episode, where like his face mask comes off that he was given by his father, and his skin regrows on his body. Really freaky to watch, but it's definitely interesting. And the name of the series, Dororo, is actually derived from the kid that he meets in the first episode of the series, the child Dororo, who becomes Hyakimaru's traveling companion as he travels fighting demons and whatnot. And Dororo is a very interesting dynamic because Dororo brings a human element to it that the series doesn't necessarily have, because Hyakimaru, in a way, he starts out not human because he doesn't have the qualities that makes a human with them able to interact with the world. Other than, being able to move thanks to the prosthetics, the one other thing that Hyakimaru has is that despite not having sight, he's able to see the aura of the living things around him, whether they're good or they're evil or they're just natural energy. So it's definitely interesting seeing the two of them interact. One of the other big things that is definitely important about Dororo, the series, not the character, is that Hyakimaru, as he's gaining different body parts and body functions back, while some people would find that to be beneficial, in many ways it comes to him as a detriment, because all of a sudden Hyakimaru is dealing with sensations that he never had to deal with before. And we see that in various ways through the series, such as when he regains his hearing, or when he regains his sense of smell, or when he regains certain body parts, regaining his sense of pain. There's a lot of things that all of a sudden he's not necessarily able to fight as strongly as he did before, because he can feel and sense things that he couldn't. All of a sudden there's all these new distractions in this world that he really didn't have to deal with before. So I find that to be really interesting, that is kind of the dynamic in his fighting in the series, because some people would in other anime, other manga and whatnot, you've got a very overpowered character that just gets stronger as time goes on. With Hyakimaru, that's not necessarily the case. By all means, he's still got his fighting abilities and whatnot, but he's constantly having to battle with changes in his own body that he's not used to. Like, he was used to be more of a killing machine when he couldn't feel pain, but now that he feels it, there's, you know, like, hesitation. There's moments of, oh no, like the recoil, stuff like that, which definitely makes for more interesting dynamics in the series. Other than that, the series itself is it's very episodic. In many ways, it's a monster of the week kind of format, just because he's fighting different demons along his travels. There's an underlying story of him essentially trying to find his place in the world and, you know, like, regain his past. But what happens when, you know, he finally meets his father? What happens when he meets his mother? What happens when he meets the second born of the family? There's a lot that goes on in the series, a lot of different emotional dynamics between different characters, and it's absolutely fantastic. And personally, my own favorite character of the series is actually this blind monk that goes and travels around. He makes an appearance in the first episode as well. He has the same ability that Hyakimaru has of, like, seeing the auras, despite being the fact that he's absolutely blind. But he's just an enjoyable character all around, so I love it. The one other thing that is worth mentioning with Dororo is that the production company for it is MAPPA, which, for those that don't know MAPPA itself, you'll probably know a lot of the series that came from it. MAPPA was responsible for the Garo animated series. It was responsible for Banana Fish. It was also, for those that liked it, it was responsible for Yuri on Ice. So you see a lot of these, you can definitely see those style influences in the Dororo anime. So if you are a fan of any one of those, it's definitely worth a watch if you like that style. So why do I think that Dororo kind of got slept on, and why I'm telling you to stop sleeping on Dororo? I think the main reason why the series is not as viewed as it is because it's one of the Amazon Prime animes. So, for those that are unaware, different streaming platforms have different rights to the anime that come out every season. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, most people are familiar with Crunchyroll, most people are familiar with Funimation. When it comes to Netflix series, with those, like, Netflix gets the rights to a different series or adaptation, and then they get released like approximately 2 seasons later, usually. The other big one that not a lot of people are focusing on is Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime actually has at least 1 or 2 different anime that they adapt every season. So Dororo is one that they've had for the past 2, because Dororo is a 24 episode anime, and it's currently 19 episodes in, with new episodes coming out usually every Monday. So if you want to catch up before the series ends, you definitely have time to do so. Some of the other big ones that have been on Amazon Prime that not a lot of people talk about, and these could definitely generate their own individual episodes of Stop Sleeping On in the future, or I could just do one on Amazon Prime anime. But the list includes series like Karakuri Circus, which my girlfriend and I absolutely love. It includes Welcome to the Ballroom, which that was my pick for the non-traditional sports anime that would have been popular following Yuri on Ice, but I think because of the whole Amazon Prime Video situation, that's why it didn't really take off. It also has a Banana Fish, I want to say Killing Instincts, the series with, like, the female, and, like, they all, like, transform into, like, half beasts, and they're, like, fighting. Could be entirely wrong on the title of that, but I also don't watch it. And just several others, including, like, past like classic series stuff from, like, different time periods. So there's a lot on Amazon Prime, but so many people are focused on Crunchyroll and Funimation and, you know, the Netflix series that come out, that they really don't focus on the Amazon Prime stuff. And that's really a shame, because, like I said, there are several great series that are on there. We're just not watching, because not everybody has an Amazon Prime account, or not everybody thinks to, you know, borrow from somebody else's Amazon Prime account. So I'm definitely someone that I preach trying to support the official release, especially if you can. But I understand in certain situations, if you don't, you have to go around some of those sometimes. But I definitely think that Dororo is a series that people should be watching. While it's not from the same company, it definitely gives it like Samurai Champloo kind of vibe, with the setting, the style, and whatnot. And I will also say that the music is fantastic. Both openings, both endings are great. A lot of people found out about Asian Kung Fu Generation doing the second opening theme for the series, literally naming it Dororo. My only complaint with that is that the first opening, Kaien, the animation and the music are so cool, so stylized, really bringing you into the series. And then the Asian Kung Fu Generation opening is very generic anime. Like, it felt like a step down. Like, don't get me wrong, the music is still absolutely fantastic. I have the full version of the song on my iPod, as I do with a lot of different anime tracks. It just felt like a step backwards from the stylization of the first opening theme, and really making it different compared to, you know, the other anime openings that we see every season. So if I had any one complaint about Dororo, I think that would be it. But otherwise, I think that it's an absolutely fantastic series. It's definitely one that you should watch, and it's not one that it's going to take a long time to watch, since it is a 24 episode anime series and 19 episodes have come out so far. So if you haven't watched it already, I highly encourage you to do so. Stop sleeping on Dororo. It's a fantastic series, and I would love to have a discussion down in the comments below about what you guys think of Dororo. If you've watched it, if you haven't watched it, what your thoughts are on it. I definitely welcome the discourse down in the comments below. But otherwise, that does it for this week's episode of Stop Sleeping on Dororo. Next video up on the docket is next Friday. We'll be doing the top 5 anime that deserve a reboot. This might be a very, very controversial episode with some of the picks that I have. But I definitely think that these anime are worth discussing, that they're worth revisiting, especially in a world where anime reboots have become as popular as they have. The Fruits Basket anime definitely is a sign of that. People are just loving reboots right now. So I think it's definitely the right time to discuss it. But yeah, otherwise, if there are any if there are any topics that you guys think I should cover, I definitely welcome any kind of suggestions. If there are series that you think people are sleeping on, that people need to stop sleeping on, leave those in the comments down below, and I'll consider them for a future video. But otherwise, for now, my name is Axel Ablaze, and I'm going to just start rocking here in an existential crisis, wondering if Hyakimaru has any dreams at all in his weird, emotionless state where he can't see and whatnot. Just, does Hyakimaru dream? Does he dream? Can he learn to dream? We may never know. Bye-bye.